Greetings and salutations to Dr. Alex. My name is Adriana Azwaluza binti Azmadi, and I'm making a video about Pustejovsky's Generative Lexicon, an interesting topic in Introduction to Semantics. The objective of making this video is to expand the core principles of Pustejovsky's Generative Lexicon theory and demonstrate how it accounts for word meaning flexibility and compositionality in natural language. So without any further ado, let's start with the introduction. James Pustejovsky's Generative Lexicon theory says that word meanings are not fixed like in a dictionary. Instead, words have rich, flexible meanings that change depending on context. Rather than memorizing every possible meaning, we use clues from the sentence to figure out the right one. This helps explain how we easily understand words like bank in different situations, whether it means a financial place or the side of a river. Now that I have introduced you to Pustejovsky's Generative Lexicon, let's dive deeper into it. Now we're going to take a look at the 4 levels of lexical representation. According to Pustejovsky, 1995, every word's meaning is composed of 4 levels, which are argument structure, event structure, lexical inheritance structure, and last but not least, qualia structure. Now let's move on to the first level, which is argument structure. Argument structure describes how a word fits into a sentence, especially what role of participants it needs to make sense. For example, some verbs like sleep need only one participant, while others, such as give, need 2 or more. This means that verbs like sleep can be understood on its own, while verbs like give need other verbs to help convey its meaning, because we wouldn't understand if someone just say she gives, unless it's a Gen Z trying to say something like it's giving, with the intention of saying that they are able to give the word that they want. From the example, you can see the sentence, she sleeps, which only needs a subject. On the other hand, the next sentence, she gave him a book, it's a subject, an indirect object, and also a direct object. In the generative lexicon, nouns can also have argument structure. In he went to the bank, the noun bank acts as a location. However, in the bank approved the loan, it acts as an agent doing an action. So, argument structure tells us what kind of sentence part a word works with, helps us figure out how it behaves and what it means in context. Event structure in the generative lexicon tells us what kind of action or process a word is involved in. It helps us understand how a word fits into the flow of an event or situation. Words don't just label things, they describe what is happening, who is involved, and how the situation changes. Let's take the word bank again. We can use the word bank to help us understand event structure better. There are 3 examples here. First, he banged the pen to the left. This is a process of an action in progress, which is turning the pen. Next, the river flooded the bank. This shows a change of state where the riverbank changes from dry to flooded. Lastly, she works at a bank. This shows a state of no action is happening. It's more of a description of a stable situation. Event structure classifies these differences. It tells us what kind of event is involved. It can be action, process, state, and change. It also tells us how a word relates to time and change, as well as how it connects to the roles of people or things in the sentence. Next, we are going to take a look at lexical inheritance structure. Lexical inheritance structure explains how words are organized in a kind of family tree of meanings. It shows how a word can inherit properties and behaviors from broader categories it belongs to. This layered structure allows words to participate in multiple conceptual categories without ambiguity. Ashes and Pustejovsky, 2005. As for the examples, when we talk about a financial bank, it inherits features from general categories like institution, business, or organization. On the other hand, when we talk about a river bank, it inherits from broader categories like landform, natural feature, or geographic location. This inheritance allows words to share features with related words. For example, a hospital and a bank are both institutions. It also allows us to adapt to new uses while staying connected to their core meaning, and it allows words to be organized in a way that helps machines and humans recognize relationships between words. In computational linguistics, this helps systems understand that bank, library, and school may behave similarly in some contexts, because they all inherit from the concept of public places or institutions. Last but not least, qualia structure. Qualia structure is what truly sets the generative lexicon apart. It explains the deep internal meaning of a word, as in why a thing is the way it is, what it's for, and how it came to be. Pustejovsky borrowed the term qualia from philosophy to refer to the essential properties that define a word or concept. He identified 4 qualia roles, which are constitutive role, formal role, telic role, and also agentive role. And each one gives us a different kind of information about a word. Constitutive role answers what it is made of. It tells us what a thing is composed of and what it's part of. For example, a riverbank is made out of soil, rocks, or grass. Meanwhile, a bank card is made of plastic and contains data. Next is formal role. It answers the question what it is. This defines what category or type of the word belongs to. For example, a bank is either an institution or a landform. Next, telic role. It answers the question what it is for and what's the purpose. This explains the function or intended use of the object or concept. For example, a financial bank is used to manage and store money, while a knife is for cutting. And lastly, agentive role. It answers the question how did it come into being? This tells us how the thing was created or came into existence. For example, a financial bank is formed through legal and social processes, and a river bank forms naturally over time due to water flow and erosion. Before I end this video, let's have a question and answer session regarding this topic. As for the first question, how does the generative lexicon enhance our understanding and processing of word meaning in areas like natural language processing, language teaching, or everyday communication? And the answer is the generative lexicon has been very useful in fields like natural language processing and computational linguistics. Unlike systems that use fixed word meanings and often get confused by words with more than one meaning, systems that use GL can understand words better by looking at the context. As for the last question, why is the generative lexicon important for understanding how language works? And the answer is, this is due to the fact that it shows us that word meanings are flexible and can change depending on how we use them. This helps us understand language more like how people really speak, not just by memorizing definitions, but by using tools from the sentence and situation. It's especially useful for teaching, translating, and building smart computer programs that can understand human language better. And that is all from me. Thank you.